Hey guys, DibtheAwesome here to give you another Monster Legends guide. It's where we talk about monsters' moves, rune sets, partners, all that jazz. Today we're talking about Himass, who must be Heyman's long lost best friend out in the galaxy. And then we have another. I just realized Himass. If you're deleted the M, it's high ass, but he's high. He's an high ass. So I had to make that joke. Uh, but yeah, it would totally be Hey Man's best friend. Uh, hi man. I'm sorry, it's just funny to me. Anyway, this guy is the dark monster for the new Space Pirates event. Or Pirates, the second pirate event. They've done a pirate event before, but now they're making another one. This is space themed, space pirates. And I gotta say, in terms of design, this looks pretty awesome. I'm just gonna say right now, like in terms of the space pirate events, like their designs are spot on. I'm doing like the perfect sign. In terms of design, they did a good job on this. There isn't one poorly designed space monster. I think the only one in terms of poor space design is Van Kmart. I really don't like the design of Van Kmart. But okay, but pretending he's not here. Everything else though, everything's pretty cool, spot on. You could say their design's out of this world. I can imagine a lot of spaces in that sense. But yeah, this is Himass. Going to the actual guide now. What is Himass? What does he do? I'm gonna tell you that. I just gotta say before we even start this guy though, this guy looks like Bubble Buddy. He's like little baby form. If you ever watch SpongeBob, he looks like Bubble Buddy. Bubble Buddy. If you don't know what Bubble Buddy is, shame on you. Look up that episode right now. It's a funny episode. You look up Bubble Buddy episode. It's a funny episode. He kind of looks like Bubble Buddy. It's adorable. But anyway, back to the guide for real now. So power 3,377. This is a pretty low power. It's below the gospel power, and it's not in the 400 range. It does. I'm gonna say it doesn't matter too much because he has an AOE that gives everyone, including himself, damage boost. So that kind of substitutes for it. But that initial just damage isn't there. But at some point it is. Not the highest power in the world, but he gets a He's got a self buff, and in terms of he has an AOE damage boost buff. So I think that substitutes for it. He just needs to he needs to start up. That's all there is to it. His life is 32,874. This is a pretty tanky monster, and you're gonna see in his ultimate. It's really great. It actually popped up right now. Actually, we'll talk about this in a bit. But anyway, going back to the life, this life is what's up. It's a very tanky monster, and it kind of makes up for the fact he's not immune to any deny. We'll talk about his trait in a bit, but we're gonna talk more about it. But yeah. His life is pretty what's up. It's a really tanky dark monster. I don't think we've had a tanky dark monster in a while. Looking at this list, I think the last terms of tank monsters, yeah, we haven't had a tank dark monster in a long time. If anything, Doctor Hazard. I'm looking at in terms of tanking. Ringer doesn't count. Ringer isn't. Ringer's a sponge. Even though he has a lot of, he's a sponge. Ringer's a sponge. He's denied. He doesn't count as a quote unquote tank. I guess Lotan's a tank too. But I'm thinking mainstream right now, especially in competitive play. And right now, in terms of tanking competitive play, people love using Dr. Hazard. I think that's spot on in terms of, I'm talking about in the sense of competitive scene. Dr. Hazard's pretty close to a tanky monster. I don't know if his life was in the 30k, but his abilities make him tanky. AoE poisoning, if you build him life, that's okay. He's pretty tanky. I'm just looking at this, looking back. This would be more so realistically your tanky monster or tanky dark monster in this category. Lotan is by all means a tank, but I'm looking at abilities and just overall stats in terms of better competitive tank. I'm looking at Dr. Hazard mainly because a lot of people use Dr. Hazard more than Lotan. Not to sell Lotan short, but just Dr. Hazard is more than always. Yeah, he is a better tank. This guy also has lifesteal too, so you'll see that later in his kit, which can combo pretty well with his other moves. So speed is 3,388. This monster is pretty slow, granted. Not too good of speed. You can run the option of running, especially if you have like a rank 10 rune, like a rank 9 or 10 strength rune, you can substitute, instead of having two strength runes, you can run another speed rune. That could help it out. Normally, I would say build life with this. In terms of a tanky monster, I'd say build life or like do the extra guy build. I think this guy can get away without running the extra guy build. You can run it on him. It would be okay. I wouldn't put this guy on defense because he's not immune to deny. Don't usually put something in that doesn't have a deny unless it's a really good reason. Unless it pairs up well with a specific partner you have that is probably immune to deny and or is a really OP just denier or something like that. Otherwise, there's no point in putting it on defense. You're just gonna get denied the whole game, and you have to deal with things like Krampus. Keep in mind, you're dealing. Well, first off, you got to realize that the enemies in the category: Krampus, Mommy, a shit ton of possessors, Harusami, Will Razor Face, all the deniers. There's a lot of deniers in the dark category, and this guy does not enjoy a single one of them. Nor is he, would like that. He will not like that at all. Possession. In terms of if you have him on defense, if it's a possession situation, he might get away with dealing with those situations. But we'll talk about that later. So speed, not the fastest in the world, but you just consider the first two facts first. He's a very tanky monster, very tanky attacker. His life, though his power is pretty low, he can boost that up later. You just gotta think of that. But now, but overall, offensive stats is all right. It's not. Like the offensive power could be better, but it's got a good life. I'm doing the all right sign. All right. Now his ultimate. Okay, this is pretty huge. If you are going, let's say you are going a tanky route, let's say to a like a huge life rune, and maybe two speeds or the extra guy build. This helps. This is a huge comeback move. So let's say Himass is actually in a really sticky situation, and he's in a 1v1. 1v2 or 3. He has no. He realistically has no chance unless he gets rid of the denier. This is a pretty huge comeback move. If he is like down to the bringing life, here's what it does: deals massive special damage to all enemies, heals by 100%, may stun all targets. He has a full reset on his ultimate. So if this guy's literally beaten to the brim, and all you need in that situation is to deny monsters or just knock something out, this is a potential lifesaver. Or if anything, it is a lifesaver, or it's saver. And it picks you up. This is a pick-me-up, and if anything, it's a really great pick-me-up because it denies the enemy monsters. If you're looking back at it, Sir Autonomous, he's a metal monster. His ultimate is more so self-benefiting. If you look at this is more of a team war benefiting approach. And it's, honestly, I think this is one of the better full life reset ultimates that are available at the moment. This is a AoE stun that heals them up all the way back. Compared to the other ones that just reset their life, this is the best. This is the best one because it helps out everybody in the end of the day. This is a utility skill plus a recovery skill for himself. Phenomenal. It's really great. If you're building tank, this is the best thing you can get during a fight is his ultimate. If you're building tanky Himass. Now I'm going to mention a skill groups 1, and that's the AoE damage reduction. If you are going tank, you might want to consider putting this move on. Essentially, this deals moderate damage to all enemies, may apply damage reduction to all targets. So essentially, you're taking less damage. That's all there is to this ultimate, and it's the only time you do run this move is when you want to avoid taking a large amount of damage. When you're building tanky, there's no other reason to run it otherwise. You can run it offensively too if you wanted the other enemy monster to do less damage to you, but odds are it's going to be a dark monster. Or it could be like Krampus on defense. If you're going against that Krampus, this is something you can bring because it's not going to be something like Barbatos. But other than that, there's no real point to bring Cosmic Justice unless you build tanky. You could bring it for the situations where you want to avoid double damage. You could do that too. It is an option. I'm gonna say it's viable. If you're on this move, it is viable. It is an option that you may run it. What's the what's the matter? This thing's actually living matter. What's the matter? This is funny. Deals heavy dark damage, deals life from target. It's a 1 turn cooldown, 28 stamina, 50 damage move. This is an option. If anything, this is his least stamina costing move at 28. A lot of you realize that a lot of his moves cost like at least 30 and above stamina to use. One second. One second. Bless me. But yeah, this is you use this if you want to save a little bit on stamina. If you don't care too much at stamina cost, it's not his highest damaging life regen move. You can run both. He has two life regen moves. Not life regen, but life steal moves. I'm sorry. He has two of them. You may run both if you so wish. Personally, I'd one or the other, and then use other moves from there. Invincible Pirate deals moderate dark damage, gains 1 extra turn, evades the next target, requires cooldown of a single turn for the invasion, and it does 35 damage at the cost of 31 stamina, and the cooldown reduction is not the cooldown reduction. Cooldown is 2 turns. Now, the only point to this move, as of the moment, I don't know if they just put it in wrong for 1 turn. They should have put the invasion down for 2 turns, so it actually stays, because once you get your extra turn in, it's gone. The evade buff is gone. Essentially, what this does, here's how you use it. I'm going to teach you how to use it, alright? You use this to reset the cooldown on your lifesteal move, be it What's the Matter or Brutal Himass Pound. Brutal Himass Pounds. Oh, shit. I can only imagine that's like a body, like a fucking wrestling move where he just jumps on somebody like pile drives. Oh, shit. That would be pretty awesome if it was that. But anyway, you use this move, you use Invincible Pirate to quicken the cooldown on, What's the Matter or Brutal Himass. I think they both run on single turn cooldowns. That's the point of this move. That is the only point of running this move. If you want to reset the cooldown of your your lifesteal. Essentially, that basic, you're hitting someone twice. So essentially, you're gaining 100% if you can hit someone more than once. Essentially, if you had like a demise, let's say you use What's the Matter first, you use it on like any specific monster, if you can kill them, bonus points. Then and on his turn himself, the Himass's turn himself, you use Invincible Pirate, and then What's the Matter is going to come up again for you to use again. But in those situations, the lifesteal is kind of irrelevant because you haven't taken any damage yet. You can save that combo for another time, but just keep in mind what's the point of this move. It's to reset the cooldown on your lower cooldown moves. That's the point of running it. You don't have to run it. It's an option. I'm saying it's going to be an optional thing you can do. You don't have to necessarily run it. Keep in mind the stamina cost on this thing is pretty high, so it's probably not the best thing in the world if you run everything with high stamina cost. Unless you have someone that can refill his stamina pretty alright. So let's say you're running Thedes, or I'd say probably Kalik. Yeah, probably Kalik or Invarv. I'm going to say Invarv is a really great partner for this guy. One, because he's naturally tanky. He's got a really good natural base life, so he's going to benefit from the regen. And he's going to benefit from the stamina regen, because, he's able to use this move with less cost, which is beneficial, because the damage on it is only 35 damage. I will say, if you have monsters that can make things weak to dark attacks, this is also a very beneficial partner then, because it's dark type. It's only 35 damage, so the damage will be increased probably by 80%, depending on depending on the future monster that you paired this thing up with that isn't a dark type. I would be very much so interested to see that if it could apply different. There's a monster that applies different elemental debuffs, but it is not necessarily that monster. It just sets up for other teammate monsters. Just a team is like a supportive, effective oiler, pretty much. That's why I'm going to call it an oiler. Setting up for explosion damage for your allied monster. That'd be cool. But yeah, again, only time you ever run that move, this move specifically, is to combo with his lower cooldowns. Unstoppable Mass. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Gains 40% stamina. I'm pretty sure this is completely worded wrong. It means energy drain. I'm pretty sure this is a 40% energy drain. I don't think there's any point in running it. It's nice to drain stamina. Keep in mind, it's 40 damage. It's not going to do you any good. And you lose 37. And it's on a 3-turn cooldown. It's not worth running, theoretically speaking, because You shouldn't even be prioritizing denying with this guy to begin with. It's not worth it. It's only 40%. It's not even half their stamina. It's 40% of it, and you're getting no trade back for it. Don't run the skill. Always go by what it says here. Don't ever go what it says by the type stuff. It's just inaccurate. It's not right. It's just wrong. Don't ever go by the words. Go by what it says here, the numbers and the thing on the bottom. Always go by that. Brutal High Man Brutal Himass Pounce. Deals heavy dark damage, steals life from target. This requires a cooldown of 1 turn, 31 stamina, 60 damage. Essentially, this combos pretty well with Invincible Pirate. One, because there's that initial damage, and then you're gonna wombo combo. You're gonna do some wrestling shit on him or something. I hope that's what it works. I hope it is. There's some like he just pile drives him. That would be fun and funny at the same time. Pile drive. uh, but yeah, essentially this is pretty much combo with the Invincible Pirate. Normally you would use this move first. You benefit from that, life steal. Even though this is not 100% life steal, if you do combo it with Invincible Pirate, essentially it is 100% because you're hitting them twice. 50 plus 50 together, equals 100%. Or, it should equal to that if you were to have 100% on you. That's my logic of the situation. Just combos with that. Gravity Power deals very heavy special damage. Monster will receive all single target attacks on himself. Requires cooldown of 2 turns, 60 damage, 31 stamina. You have this move because it is the 60 damage. It's a 60 damage special move. Great for enemy dark monsters. You run this move, no question about it. It's got a fairly nice cooldown of 2 turns. And 31 stamina. Not the most pleasing stamina cost in the world. All right, so now we've reached the the topic or the conversation of this monster. Truly, I never brought this up in the beginning. It's the first monster to apply taunt, and nobody knows how's this work yet. I honestly think nobody knows how this works yet, unless somebody has done a video on him, like a trolley 1 to 130 video or like something like that, where they use hacks or just bought them in the event. They just straight up bought a lot of coins. I don't know how this works yet. Here's my take on it. I think how this move works is you use this move on a monster, and if the enemy uses a single target move, it's gonna go straight to that monster that it's applied to. That's how I think it works. If it doesn't work like that, then odds are it's probably just a fancy way of saying you will hit this guy 100% of the time without actually saying it. In terms of using single attacks on him, and that could be kind of, it's not really all that great. I really don't. I wouldn't think that would be all that great unless it worked how I'm thinking it works, like where if you hit it a specific target, then that target's going to receive all single target attacks regardless of who it's from. If it's the enemy, if it's your ally, whoever uses a single target move, it's going to be that move is going to go straight towards the one he has dotted that person with. That's how I think the move works. If it does work like that, that's strong. That's really strong, especially if you're in a common war, and then like the NPC doesn't use the AoE and say it does for a single target move. You automatically should be winning at that point, for one thing, because it's probably the attacker. And he's just gonna destroy probably the enemy denier, because add up the deny damage, and you add this to gravity power. You hit that on the target, then the enemy attacker could potentially kill their own denier with their single target move. That's how my logic works on this move at the moment. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed thing. That's just my concept of it. I have no idea because I don't have this guy yet, and all that jazz. But I hope that's how this works. If it does, that's it's possibly a great way to save 3 coins. Possibly. It's not a guaranteed safe choice, but it's a chance that he'll do a single target move, because sometimes the NPC does actually use a single target move on the common. I don't know how common it is or uncommon it is, but it's possible. And it could save your common's life. It's just a situation. So just keep that in mind. You should still run it regardless because of the damage output it does, and it's good against dark monsters. There's nothing to argue with it. Galactic Smash deals moderate special damage to all enemies, gains damage boost. This was the move I was talking about. It's a 3-turn cooldown, 37 stamina cost, 40 damage move, and it gives everybody damage boost. I like that. No, honestly, I actually like that. That's a little neat thing. He is an attacker, and then he gives everybody more damage. Essentially, you can combo this with quite a bit of things, actually. You can combo this with Frostbite's AoE buff, where he gives, like, stamina refill plus double damage. You can combo that. I'm serious. You can literally combo this. You can use, let's say you have like a demise, right? And I think for some reason the game hasn't gone over yet. If essentially this will probably wipe out depending on your runes anyway, but if it doesn't, you could do the AoE stamina boost, double damage. Essentially the game's you're just kind of having fun at that point, but that's a thing. That's actually a very valid partner too. Is pairing it up with Frostbite, you can refill stamina, and give him double damage too, so now he does more damage, and essentially makes Invincible Pirate actually do respectable damage at that point, because if he has double damage up, this does more damage and it's more relevant. And it could help it out in the wrong one. I just realized if you use this move, essentially this is only on a single turn cooldown. A lot of in terms of moves, his move cooldown is very low. Realistically speaking, it's just naturally low. I think this biggest cooldown is just Galactic Smash, or if you're running Cosmic Justice. I think it's funny he's like a pirate and he has like a Cosmic Justice. This guy must be a good guy. Awesome. Even though he's a pirate, he must have a... You could say, you would assume his heart is a black hole. Yeah. Yeah, because, he's dark matter, black holeness, he's a black, black matter. No? Black hole, I hope this isn't like... I hope this shows an actual black hole. Yeah. See? There. I did this to be funny. I hope it was. Yeah, I was, you could say that one, that joke kind of went into space. No, one wasn't too good. I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta really patch things up with you guys later. Because yeah, I gotta hammer down the pun hammer there. Okay, going back. I'm sorry, I'm making a lot of jokes for this guide. I'm sorry. Jokes and puns, they could be funny. Some of them can't. I don't know anymore. That's pretty much what this monster is in a nutshell. I don't know anymore. It's monster. I don't know anymore. So what movesets with this monster, going back to the guide seriously now, movesets, there's a few things you can do. This is the attacker set, quite honestly. I would run Galactic Smash, Brutal Himass Pounce, just more damage output. True, it's like what, a few more stamina, but that's not gonna matter, especially if I have something to refill stamina to begin with. Just better base damage. I'd then run, I'd probably run everything in skill groups 3 in all honesty, and then I'd run Invincible Pirate, just for that quickening of my cooldowns. It would be especially helpful too, if I just use Gravity Power or something like that, then, you can quicken up Gravity Power again, and then you can apply it to more people. It'd be benefiting. You would run the basic damage set with this. You can choose not to run Invincible Pirate and go for What's the Matter, for memes and jokes' sake, if you wanted. I'm just saying Invincible Pirate will reset the cooldown on Brutal Himass Pounce, essentially doing more damage. And yeah, I'm just now realizing he got a move from Heyman. This is basically Heyman's move. Just nerf life. He just has nerf lifesteal. Yeah, this is just a sign. It's just an automatic sign that he's best friends with Heyman. Just automatic. He's even got one of his moves. I think Heyman does 65. I don't know if he does 65 more damage, but it's funny. I don't know. Like I think it does 65 or 60. Either way, it's a sign. It's a sign that they're best friends. uh, like yeah. That's for the damage set. This takes advantage of his, reduced cooldowns. He does more moves. You would need stamina regen with this monster or something to, keep him to be able to keep moving. His stamina costs are pretty high for an attacker, but I think the output he could possibly do is really great. I mean, he has two 60 damage moves, plus he has a damage boost, which essentially patches up his naturally low base power. I think if you guys actually rank this guy up, he's actually in terms of base stats, like in any monster gets better with ranking up. I'm just saying, in terms of ranking up, he has pretty good. Base stats is 105, or at least like good starting. It's a good start. I'd say at level 100 at the moment. Other dark monsters could probably compete with in terms of his base stats, or let's go kind of beyond it because he's slow. He doesn't have an immunity to a deny. There's a lot of deniers in the dark category, so good luck. Not the best thing to put on defense. Please don't put this thing on defense. Unless you want to do the memes and hope that you actually get Black Matter Strikes back. That would be funny. Uh, it's 100%. It's 100% reset. Plus, he stuns everybody. You pretty much run him on defense if you're hoping for that at that point. Uh, I'm gonna tell you guys a tank set here. Okay, so you might run if you have a level 9 or 10 life rune, you can get away with running two speeds, so you're not double turned. That's the hugest thing, or the hugest concern when you're running a tanky guy on defense. You don't want to get double turned. That's the worst thing in the world, because you're just going to be constantly denied, and it's not going to matter if you do an AoE stun because you're getting double turned. It doesn't matter. That stun unaffects them if they're getting more than one turn on you. If you do have a level 9 or 10 life rune, feel free to do a life and two speeds. Otherwise, you could go the extra guy build in terms of tanking. You do want some damage up. In terms of, like, you should be running a level. You should be running a damage rune. You can't get away from running two lives and a speed. Just not a good idea. You should be running the extra guy build, and or if you have a level 9 or 10 life rune, you can get away with a life and two speed. And what you do with this build, you build Cosmic Justice, damage reduction overall. Nothing to argue there. You run this move. It's just no reason not to. You run the you run both. I mean, not probably not both. You should probably run Brutal Himass pounds. Just a good life recovery overall, really steady. You can run. I wouldn't really say run Invisible Pirate. If anything, you should be running What's the Matter 2, and you should be running Galactic Smash. It just ups your damage output more. You could probably run Invincible Pirate if you wanted it. If you don't care about What's the Matter, I mean, if you want to skip out on What's the Matter, you may run Invincible Pirate so you can reduce the cooldown on Brutal High Mass Pounce. You can do that. It's just your option, so you have the choice between this or this. But you should be running Galactic Smash, Brutal High Mass Pounce, and you should be running Cosmic Justice for that damage reduction. That's the tank build. That's what I would recommend if you're going for more so of a tanky setup. I realize these two kind of go, like Cosmic Justice and Galactic Smash kind of go hand in hand because it's it's like yin and yang. This does damage reduction while this boosts your allies' attack. It's yin and yang. I think that's interesting. That's really interesting. I'd give that a star. More space jokes. uh, so yeah, essentially that just takes all of his tankiness, and you're hoping to get your inspontaneous OP life recovery too. That's essentially all you're doing with high mass. For a tank build, you should be running the extra guy build if you're not running a Lex 9 or 10 life rune and double speeding. It wouldn't really work if you're running a level 5 life rune and two level 5 speed runes because you're not tanky enough. You won't be able to sponge anything. And Barbatos is a concern. That's kind of why I don't think you should run high mass on defense. If anything, you should just go for an offensive build. I think it would suit better. There's no point in really building him tanky to say, but you have the option to. You should always go try out new things, try it out with different partners, see how it goes for you. If it goes dandy, then by all means, perfect. I encourage you to do ideas. If you want to be a little bit of a rebel and try out a few things with this monster, go right ahead. I encourage it. Do it. This monster is interesting and strange, so by all means, try a few things out. See what makes you happy. Personally, the highest recommendation I probably recommend is the damage build. I'd run him. If I had like a level 10 or 9 strength rune, I'd put it on him and run him to his speeds. Just so he doesn't get double turned. I would really hate that. If I got double turned, that's huge. That's a huge problem on him. It just wouldn't work well. But yeah, normally though, if you're just a common, if you're just the average Joe, new to middle class player, I'd recommend to the simple build of true strength and a speed, to produce more life steal gain on your monster. In terms of stealing more life from the target, run everything in skill groups 3 and then run invincible pirate. The combo potential is just really great. There's no reason not to run it. In terms of if you're running an attacker set, I highly recommend that. Partners, real quick, put this guy up with something that regens stamina. It needs it. Does a lot of the cost for it doing a lot of stuff is that he's very stamina hungry. He's also very stamina hungry. You do need to pair it up with things that regen stamina. So water monsters, there's a lot of water monsters that regen stamina. Thedes is 100% refill plus damage boost. That's a tad bit unnecessary. You could go up to Frostbite. Frostbite with has great deny potential. So as long as you're faster than everything, you can AoE freeze. AoE freeze, that's stamina drain everybody, and Himass can do his things without worrying about being denied. And at some point, if things do get really long, you can combo Frostbite's ability to do double damage up. You can give the double damage buff, and if Himass is still with damage buff, damage boost up, it combos with that, and you just essentially do more damage. Invarv's also a valid partner. Like I said, combos goes hand in hand with the natural life regen, with the life regen because he has a naturally high life, plus the stamina regen. Let me think. Other partners. Anything that pretty much anything that's Kalik, Sarah, and or Monster Device, they get rid of the natural weakness of not being naturally immune to common denies in the game. They just pick them up really right away. That's pretty much what you pair monsters that aren't immune to deny with, are monsters that can clean up debuffs. Gorin's an option, although it's kind of tricky. It would be kind of tricky to run Gorin in a Dark Earth War situation, especially if you put them together on defense, because people are just going to Barbatos you. It's going to be the easiest 3 coins they have in the whole world. Boom. Because Barbatos kills everything, and he especially kills any earth monster without the least care. He really doesn't care about dark monsters. Because it's rock versus paper at that. Rock versus scissors, and Barbatos in this situation is the rock. But I guess in terms of an offensive situation, yeah. It wouldn't be, in Team War situation, I wouldn't be really too good. Unless you kill the Barbatos first, unless you have like a rune setup that can prioritize and going before Barbatos, or you're killing him right away, that's huge. And, that's something. So overall, pretty nice monster. I'm giving the alright side. I don't know how good this thing actually goes in terms of the competitive scene. Play around with this guy. He's a really weird monster. He looks weird. I mean, he also looks awesome too, but he's really weird. He's just got a weird setup. Try him out in war. If he's good. If he's not, yeah, I'm sorry. Probably should have went for something else in the event. But I think I'm actually going to get this guy because I'm very tempted to put him up with Hey Man and make a funny video. Like a two best friends video. Best friends team. Man. I honestly think this guy would be best friends with Hey Man. Just, hey man, hi Mass. This is just funny. I think he's all right overall. I think this is what really sells him up too. With he has got a really nice ultimate, a really good, he's got an AOE stun plus 100% life regen back. He's got a full reset. I think that's really cool. I wouldn't say he's terrible. I'm just saying he's unique. I'm gonna say he's in the unique category. He's something new. Try him out. If you like him, thumbs up. If you don't like him, I'm sorry. Again. But yeah, hopefully you do like him. I'm gonna try him out a few times myself. See how it works and all that jazz. So yeah, I'm DibtheAwesome. I'll catch you guys later.